7's My Kitchen Rules may fast becoming better known for its tantrums and dust-ups rather than any actual recipes, but the stalwart cooking show once again topped the timesheets last night, and handed 7 a Sunday night win. MKR pulled 1.29 million viewers last night, and held off 9's The Voice that had its best night of 2018 with 1.1 million. 7 won the night with 33.5% audience share, followed by 9 with 30.1%. The ABC again bounced 10 into fourth spot with 14.8% and 14.1%, respectively. SBS polled 7.2%. 7 also won the Battle of News and Current Affairs. 6 p.m. News Bulletin, 1.22 million, beat rival 9, 966,000. While 7's Sunday Night, 949,000, whipped 60 Minutes, 616,000. Over at 10, Bachelor in Paradise pulled in 669,000 and continues to splutter along. While the Sunday Project had a night to forget, managing just 343,000. Over at the ABC, its 7 p.m. News Bulletin was its standout, managing 695,000, followed by Grand Designs with 610,000. It then featured an evening of repeat shows, Midsummer Murders, 342,000, Hard Quiz, 212,000, and National Treasure, 129,000. SBS's best was The Celts with 229,000. Sign in with LinkedIn. MKR Oztam The Voice. Much like fingernails down a blackboard, this story has the feel of sandpaper across your six-stitcher. Australian sport's most famous derriere could soon be making its way onto primetime television, according to reports. You gotta hand it to Clem's Melbourne's Graham campaign. It is the gift that keeps on giving and giving on giving. Adeline's not all full of neurotic egotists with anxiety issues, as B. There's often a fine line between utter stupidity. It appears MKR has introduced a bit of UFC into its programming. Now if there was ever an idea for a show, that's it. Contenders for the WPP CEO role are lining up amid reports Sir Martin's already getting on poor Mrs. Sorrell's nerves. 7 confirms the return of the Dr. Blake mysteries sans Dr. Blake himself, which is a mystery in itself. If you needed any more proof we've hit peak D-grade celebrities flogging their own cookbooks, comes this intriguing tale. Does the word manifesto make you think of Stalinist Russia? Well, thankfully this comes without any trip to the gulag. Fear your job will be replaced by an algorithm anytime soon? Well, this can only add to your sleepless nights. APN says, if the shoe fits, wear it, as 10's Neil Shoebridge joins the comms team. That was B. There's a new solo campaign which, unfortunately, doesn't include any cans being crushed on foreheads or croc wrestling. Digital retail out-of-home media business Shopper Media Group has announced the appointment of Emily Sack to the newly created position of Head of Data and Insights. The new role forms part of Shopper Media Group's expansion plan to keep up with the accelerated growth that has seen its portfolio surpass more than 220 shopping centers. Customer experience agency CX Lavender has announced the appointment of Michael Rummery to the role of Business Development Director for Melbourne. Rummery, pictured above, was previously Account Director of Client Services at global marketing and digital recruitment firm Aquant, and has held roles at a number of talent agents and recruitment firms with a focus. If you think B. Is everyone talking general data protection regulation around the office to your Bachelor in Paradise? Here, read this. The New York Times Company has announced the appointment of media representation agency Wethink Media to represent its advertising business in Australia. Wethink Media will be responsible for all advertising in the region, including print, digital, branded content, programmatic, and events. The partnership will be overseen by Tom Armstrong, Vice President of Advertising for the New York. Wonder why your private health premiums seem to be constantly going up? Well, this offers no explanation whatsoever. Look, it's 10 marketing ideas from Apple, which we like to think is far superior to 20 marketing ideas from Microsoft. Influencers are the new powerhouses in driving stock off shelves, but brands are yet to find the right recipe for successful collaboration, according to Gleam Futures' Guillaume Darrant, pictured below. Here, she argues that marketers need to look beyond purely targeting an audience and channel their energy towards building long-term collaborative relationships. Australia punches above. In this guest post, Bronwyn van der Merwe, pictured below, Managing Director of Fjord Australia and New Zealand, part of Accenture Interactive, details the 4 traits of a living business, something she believes organizations have to become in order to transform successfully. The digital age has created a plethora of challenges for modern organizations. There's plenty to be had from openly pinching your competitors' data, writes this somewhat brave columnist. Is your Mondayitis so bad today your boss is lucky you even turned up at all? Find hope in these inspirational spots. In a submission lodged with the ACCC inquiry into digital platforms, industry body Free TV Today called for greater regulatory oversight of Facebook and Google. The Free TV submission identifies a number of key areas of concern: heavy regulation on traditional media providers and almost none on Facebook and Google, questionable claims about the reach, viewability. APN Outdoor has used its annual general meeting to announce 3 key contract renewals: Transport for Brisbane, Transdev Melbourne and Adelaide. Company CEO and Managing Director, James Warburton, said, "These contracts represent an important part of our advertising offering. The far-reaching impact they provide delivers a compelling proposition and cements our commitment. The only thing stopping MKR continues to prove B. And, like last month's, you'll probably ignore these too. It's the latest in our women in media profiles, and this one is so good you'll possibly get a nervous twitch somewhere. Do you only read B? This rather unsavory story unfortunately includes lewd and suggestive name-calling. You have been warned." Liam Hale forced to take lunchtime jogging and hideous weekend fun runs after being appointed Nike client director. You could write a book on this whole Rebel Wilson, Bauer ding dong. Admittedly, not an overly interesting one. Does your marketing strategy often follow with a groveling public apology? Well, fact, put the monkeys in a headline. One bite of our editor's stroganoff and you'll instantly know he's never watched a cooking program in his life. There's appointment news out of Fox today, as 60-second Gets draws on LIDA's wealth of experience to unpack the latest industry tools, tech and thinking. Launching today, the first video, Success in 6 Seconds. Do you love a $79 Lowe's Gabardine off-the-rack number with 2 bonus business shirts? Well, this probably isn't for you. Today Naked launches its Start Talking campaign for Gidget Foundation Australia, a not-for-profit that provides support for families who are affected by perinatal depression and anxiety, PNDA. The centerpiece of the campaign is a powerful TVC that brings to life this common, but often hidden illness, and shows how Gidget Foundation's Start Talking telehealth program. For the first time ever, AFL spectators will be able to view real-time Telstra Tracker player data via in-stadium LED signage, thanks to the combined efforts of Telstra, Champion Data and MKTG. By integrating the Telstra Tracker data into the LED signage at the MCG and Etihad Stadium, fans will receive contextually relevant information from. Centre Group has unveiled a new brand look and feel coinciding with the relaunch of the Westfield.com.au and Westfield.co.nz sites. This digital-first visual identity sees a shift towards creating a more contemporary, invigorated and colorful brand, reflective of Westfield's in-center experience. The iconic Westfield logo will continue to lead brand communications, supported with a new Land Rover, the vehicle of choice for the royal family. In this guest post, Keep Left's head of consumer engagement, Johanna Murray, pictured below, explains the merits of experiential marketing, as well as sharing some tips on how to do it, and do it well. Humans love to label things, especially intangible things, like time. We like eras and ages and eons because This trends report is a must-read for all marketers, although it contains no news on the return of the bubble perm. Yes, it's a powerful new Greenpeace campaign. And, yes, get set to feel really miserable about yourself and the planet. Need a hearty laugh from a funny ad campaign? Well, this comes with no guarantee of hearty, but possible mild titter. If all else fails, whack cute dogs in your ad. As these new spots from carmaker Subaru prove. Georgia Merck, pictured below, is an expert in creating feedback cultures and author of Feedback Flow, the ultimate illustrated guide to embed change in 90 days. In this guest post, Merck offers her tips on giving and receiving feedback from colleagues without botching it up. We all know that feedback matters. Most of us want the good, the bad and the who hasn't dreamt of quitting. Do you like to shop free from the madding crowd? Well, department stores appear rather customer-free of late. Have you completely forgotten what Sydney looks like? Well, thankfully this story comes with a handy pictorial reminder. Ever drunkenly stalked an ex? Well, brands are apparently doing it now, too. Well, maybe not the drunken part. The delightful Mr. Pan popped by the bee. Is Australian Super on your roster? Well, you're under review. It's more industry people doing good. But they only get this article about themselves. There's no sash presentation. The man they call Beaver has joined Triple M's footy call team. Hang on, he's actually called Ru B. Or read this in the pub. SBS Radio has announced 2 new digital radio stations, SBS Pop Asia, SBS Pop Desi, and a refresh of SBS Radio 3 is now available on digital TV. SBS Radio 3 will broadcast world news and current affairs from the BBC World Service, previously airing on SBS Radio 4 on digital radio, and special events, at a time when more than 2/3 of Australians are feeling confused and concerned about their finances. Suncorp has unveiled a new creative platform focused on making the complex simple. In a move that expands the brand beyond the Sunshine State, Suncorp's strategic approach is all about helping Australians focus on what they do. Think the Gold Coast is all polar bears, misbehaving school leavers. Does your marketing toolbox consist solely of blue tack? Do you work alongside exceptional women? Well, celebrate them here. Even better if they juggle. B. Biana has a new advertising sentiment index that B. For its first Australian campaign, Champion has partnered with creative and content agency Emotive to launch a music program titled Revealed. The program champions emerging Australian artists by intimately telling their story through video, and providing funding and creative support to create world-class music videos for new release music. The first revealed artist is. This is a great initiative for youth homelessness. Hence, why B. Ola could be confused for a range of tasty tacos. Finalists for the Best Radio Ad for 2018 have been announced, with 10 of Australia's leading agencies from Sydney, Melbourne and Perth competing for the coveted Gold Siren. Finalists include The Monkees, Clemenger BBDO, Market Force, J. Walter Thompson, Ogilvy, BMF, McCann, Year, Fenton Stevens, and The Brand Agency. One half of last year's winning, KFC does the unthinkable and unveils campaign that might make you possibly want to actually eat its food. Australian-owned call analytics provider Delicon has continued its international expansion, opening an innovation centre in India to service local and global partners, and develop the next generation of call tracking and analytics solutions. The office in Chennai is the 8th for the Sydney-headquartered business, which enables brands and agencies to optimize marketing campaigns by accurately. Sydney brand and digital agency Protein has been appointed to handle the retail and digital rollout of recycling company Return It, which has just been announced as the container collection network for the ACT. Return It awarded the work to the 17-year-strong agency, following Protein's tender support and brand development of the retail concept. The public-facing. This is an excellent article about celebrating failure. Although, admittedly, we failed to get to the very end of it. Salesforce throws down the gauntlet in the gender pay war. Well, not so much gauntlet, arguably more a woolly mitten. Just as the confusion on who said what on the ComGames closing ceremony fiasco ends, a weird new confusion arrives. Were you bored by the whole closing ceremony antics yesterday? Well, take one last snort of the smelling salts for this. Gary Roberts has called it quits. That is, the MD of Perth's Nova 93.7, not the Wigan athletic midfielder. Havas staff are set to be housed under the one roof, but will it make them vulnerable from catapult attack from rivals? If B. Kimi Neidhart doesn't just have a very cool name, as you'll read here. There's a good head on those shoulders, too. If the Daily Mail claims it has ethics. Is it justice, or are the hosts of television programs actually becoming more entertaining than the programs themselves? If you thought MKR's soufflé had been cooked, you'll have egg on the face after these numbers. If your mantra for TV ads is didn't have a clue what it was trying to sell, but it was funny, you'll love this. GroupM announces a number of new hires and issues a first in, best dressed policy for the basement car park. We've had the heavily overweight, a spate of desperate singles, and now it appears genitalia is coming to TV screens. Southern Cross Austereo, SCA, has announced the promotion of Nathan Soulsby to head of TV sales for Sydney. The announcement comes after Kristen Budd's move to general manager of SCA's Central Coast office. Caretaking the role during Budd's maternity leave, Soulsby has been a key contributor to the consistent share and revenue growth that has. The works chiefs issue a congratulatory from Sydney after being voted one of Asia's top employers. More proof that working with data is a tedious bore comes news of the top salaries for those prepared to suffer it. Despite the constant reminders of your vegan diet, are people still bored of you? Dive into this meaty read. Does Australia's changing TV landscape leave you scratching your head? Did it yourself pronto with this expert read. His constant gaps may be bad news for old Peter Beattie, but they sure make for easy wins for Lazy B.